Can be, Marta.
Please introduce the people that you have with you, and then just take it away.
Představ ty, co tady máš.
Ano, to jsem, a pak tu druhou půlku řeknu.
A odsud se odrazíme.
Dobře, tak já...
And we have your beautiful daughter with you.
Yes.
And your daughter has her beautiful mother with her.
Yes.
And both of you have your beautiful translator.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
So
yes.
You've got some photographs which I will put in on the edit. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is just a clean recording. So explain what the situation is and your books and thank you very much, Marcella, for the help that you gave me. I've been under a great deal of attack, and if one thing doesn't stop, another one starts. So I had to cancel my conference on Friday, which I made an executive decision, and we won't talk about that. We'll just get on with what you need to say now, because we're now running quite a long time over. So just take it away.
Co říkal, prosím, že?
Takže
ještě nenahrává.
Ano, takže vlastně musel zrušit v páté konferenci.
Jo, tak jsem tomu
se zabývat nebudeme a to, co vlastně chceš sdělat ty, aby si...
A už se nahrává, nebo?
Ano.
Aha, dobře, no tak stejně to řeknu, škoda, že se mi neozval, že třeba nemuselo rušit konferenci.
That's a pity that you haven't contacted Marcella before, that maybe you didn't have to cancel the conference. Myslíš to tak, že příště se má ozvat, jo? So Marcella mean it in a way, next time you are under some attack or some health issue, please contact Marcella and she will gladly help you that you don't have to cancel your engagements.
Thank you.
Fajn. Takže to je moje dcera Kristýna.
That's my daughter Kristýna.
A Teofe už znáš.
Teofi, you know, she's the Czech English voice.
Good.
Takže Kristýna je spisovatelka.
Kristýna, she's a writer.
Vyšlo jí v Čechách 5 knih, 5 románů.
She has published 5 books in Czech, 5 novels.
A navíc je to moje spolupracovnice, jak jsme o tom mluvili minule.
And also she's my co-worker, we spoke about that last time.
V souvislosti s obrázky a mantrami.
Related to the healing pictures and the mantras.
Could you explain about the books, each one, and how did you get involved making the books? What is the purpose of the books?
To je účelem těch knížek, jak jsi se k tomu dostala, jak vznikly a
účelem, jo?
No,
dobře, takže začala jsem psát už jako dítě.
I have started to write as a child already.
Ale teprve v roce 2017 mi vyšel první román.
But in 2017 the first novel was published.
Tvůrčí psaní jsem studovala na škole.
Yeah, I have studied the creative writing at school.
Ale tam jsem díky vyučujícím zjistila, že je to něco, co se naučit podle mě nedá a buď člověk talent má, anebo ne.
Yeah, thanks to the teacher, I have realized it's something you can't learn. You either have a gift to write or not.
So did this come with inspiration or intuition?
Přesně tak, určitě. Určitě to tak je.
Intuicí nebo inspirací?
Intuicí i inspirací.
It's coming by intuition and inspiration as well. I would say by both.
So what brought this on?
A co to vlastně způsobilo, nebo co to přišlo?
Vlastně nejdřív jsem začala psát, jak se tomu říká, automatický písmo.
Yeah, I have started to write the automatic writing, the first. To bylo, když si pomáhala mamce.
No, ten andělský hlas.
Jo, takže jsme založili blog Andělský hlas.
Yeah, we have started to write the blog. It was Angelic Voice, was named.
Takže máma měla mnoho otázek.
My mom, she has so many questions.
A já jsem se na ně snažila odpovídat.
And I try to give answer for.
Ale stále mi chyběla ta možnost vyprávět příběhy.
But I was missing the opportunity to tell the stories.
až jsem dostala inspiraci k prvnímu románu a začala jsem psát.
Then I got inspiration for a first novel and I start to write it down.
A ten první román je Galilejec.
The first novel is Galilei.
Galilean.
Galilean. Yeah.
Takže dovolila jsem si převyprávět.
I was daring to tell the different story of
asi nejznámější příběh ze všech, takže příběh Ježíše Krista.
The most famous story of all stories, it's different story of Jesus Christ.
Ty informace k tomu příběhu mi přicházely postupně.
Yeah, the information related to the story, they were coming one by one.
Určitým způsobem jsem se samozřejmě opírala o evangelia, nebo tak mi to bylo předkládáno postupně.
Yeah, I was also, let's say, inspired or get information based on the testaments also.
Ale vlastně ta prvotní myšlenka, ten první impuls,
the original story and the impulse of it,
byla skutečnost, že vlastně v mém příběhu je to Ješua, ne Ježíš Kristus.
Yeah, that in my story I used the name Joshua, not Jesus.
Takže vlastně Ješua byl archanděl.
The Joshua has been archangel,
který se sám rozhodl narodit se jako člověk.
Who has decided to be born as a human.
A předávat vlastně lidem pravdu o tom, jak funguje náš svět.
And to pass on the truths how our world is working.
I explain about being born as a human. Sorry, I did not explain that.
Narozen jako člověk.
Narodil se jako syn člověka.
He was born as a son of the human.
Jiná možnost neexistovala, jak se sem dostat.
There was no other option how to be born on earth.
This is very important because it also equates with many aliens who have to inhabit humans to work here. Yes?
Yeah, that's true.
Ano.
Yeah.
Continue.
Děkuji. Samozřejmě narodí se v Nazaretu.
Yeah, he's born in Nazareth.
Tady v Galileji.
In Galilee.
V té době, na kterou jsme všichni zvyklí.
Let's say in the time and era which we are used to.
To znamená během římské nadvlády.
In the Roman Empire, above the country. A zapomněla jsem říct, že se vlastně narodí, což je důležité, jako třetí syn. Yeah, and what's important and what's Marcela pointed out that he has been born as a third son of carpenter.
Yes.
Pardon me, did you say the third son?
Yes, third son of carpenter
Was
Joseph.
there a reason for that?
Co je důvod toho, že se narodil jako třetí syn?
že měl bratry a nenarodil se z Pany.
He has brothers and he was not born from a virgin.
Okay.
Yes.
That he had siblings and his mother wasn't virgin.
Okay, continue.
So it hasn't been like conception. Yeah.
Yes. Takže teď jsem se sekla.
No není třeba to celý vyprávět.
Ne, asi není důležitý to celý vyprávět.
It's not important to tell all the story.
Důležitý je vlastně ty moje první 4 romány.
The important about 4 novels which I have written.
Jedná se o tetralogii.
It's tetralogy, like 4 continuations.
A všemi těmi romány
And all of the novels
prostupuje specifický skutečnosti.
and the specific events.
Vnímání světa, který mi bylo předáno, o čem jsem přesvědčena.
How to perceive the world around us, what I strongly believe in.
A důvodem vlastně toho, proč Ješua se rozhodne sestoupit na zemi, je to, aby osvobodil lidstvo.
And the reason why Yeshua decided to be born on earth to liberate the mankind,
Od nadvlády temnoty.
like to repel the, let's say, ruling of the darkness, of dark forces.
A vlastně ten souboj mezi Bohem, Otcem
So it's about the fight between the God or the Father
a mezi temnotou
and the darkness.
Je základním principem všech mých románů.
It's a basic principle of all of my novels.
A právě v tom Galilejci
In the first novel, The Galilee,
jsou ty nejzákladnější myšlenky právě tahle filozofie a tohohle boje.
yeah, they are the basic principle and basic idea of this, let's say, fight, which we see forever.
Které se postupně vyvíjely během těch let, co jsem psala ty ostatní romány.
And also this idea was developing and evolving through the years I have been writing the novels.
Takže přibývalo informací, skutečností, které se odkrývaly nejen čtenářům, ale především mě.
And also there are more information which has been revealing to the readers, but also to me. I was getting more and more information.
Protože já jsem ten první člověk, který mu je ten příběh vyprávěný a já ho zaznamenám.
Yeah, because I'm the first one to whom the story is tell, and I am the one who is just writing that down. Tady ty informace přichází. Yeah, I'm receiving the information and then writing them down.
Where do these messages come from? Where do the inspiration? Sorry, I must not interrupt. Continue. Sorry.
Odkud ty informace přicházejí? That was good question. It was really good question, Miles.
Původně andělský hlas.
Originally I would call it angelic voice.
Byl založen právě na tom, že jsem položila stejnou otázku.
Yeah, the blog Angelic Voice, I had the same question you asked.
A představili se mi jako archanděle.
They introduced themselves as archangels. Jsi to něco dodala?
Nechtěla jsem říct, že tak to nebylo.
Ne, ale už je to dlouho.
Marcela would contradict with this story, and Kristýna said, yeah, it has been years, so maybe it's interesting what Marcela, jak si to pamatuješ ty?
Já si to pamatuju tak, že jsme se ptali a ty si odpovídala.
Yeah, I remember that we have question we were asking, and Kristýna was answering.
A jednoho dne mi přišlo hloupý se nezeptat, s kým vlastně Kristýna komunikuje.
Yeah, and one day I felt like, oh, it's absolutely silly, why not to ask with whom Kristýna is actually communicating.
A Kristýna se bála zeptat, aby je neurazila.
And Kristýna was kind of afraid to ask because she doesn't want to offend the source.
Tak se nakonec zeptala, protože ona mě většinou poslechne.
So finally she asked because she usually obey my questions or she respect me, and so therefore she asked.
Were the questions satisfactory? Were the answers satisfactory?
Byly ty odpovědi uspokojující?
Hodně jsme se divili, dejme tomu.
Yeah, we were very often very surprised.
Najednou jsme se začali na svět dívat úplně jinak.
And we start to perceive the world around us in very different way.
Začali jsme vidět věci, které se nám úplně nelíbily, ale které jsme vidět muset začali.
Yeah, we start to see the things that we don't want to see, but which were also important to see.
Začali jsme se uvědomovat, že přesně takhle to musí být.
Yeah, and we start to be convinced that it has to be like this way, that myslíš ty informace, co vám chodí. That the information which we are receiving, that there must be correct.
what made you feel good about it rather than bad?
Proč jsi tam měl dobrý pocit spíš než špatný?
Myslíš, že tě slyším.
Aha.
Teď čeští.
Nevím.
Takže ještě...
Co
protože, jasně, protože nám začalo docházet, že to byly věci, které jsme si třeba nevšímali.
Yeah, we start to notice and also to be aware of that there are the information or the things we haven't been noticing before.
Můžu? A nebo všímali, teda já jsem si určitě mnoha věcí všímala, ale všichni říkali, že to tak a tak.
Yeah, or I has been noticing them, but you know everyone around us was saying like, yeah, the truth is or information like that, so they were contradicting.
Třeba když jsem se učila astrologii.
So for example, when I was studying astrology.
A nedávalo mi to smysl, ale podřídila jsem se.
Yeah,
vlastně.
it doesn't give me make the sense of what I was getting information from my teachers, but I accepted that it's probably their truth. Takže pak jste začala věřit tomu. Okamžitě. So then immediately I start to follow the information which start to come through the Kristýna. Because they make more sense than the other ones.
Byly úplně logický.
It was logical, it was much more understandable.
A navíc jsem to cítila emocionálně. Já jsem se u toho tak naplakala, jako někdy v životě.
Also I have seen it personally very strong emotionally. I was deeply touched. I cried a lot, když si jako získala ty informace.
Když mi to četla
Kristýna.
Yeah,
when Kristýna was reading the messages, I have a very strong emotional response. I was crying a lot.
A myslím, že pláč je hlasem duše.
Yeah, and I think the cry is a language of soul as well.
A například, a to bychom možná mohli propojit s tou ukázkou.
Yeah, for example, we can give you some example from a book.
Já jsem ze začátku, Kristýna se bála číst před lidma.
Yeah, Kristýna was afraid at the beginning to read in front of people.
Takže jsem četla já.
So then I was first reading it.
A třeba první kapitola, s kterou jsme požádali umělou inteligenci o překlad.
So we asked to translate the first chapter of artificial intelligence. So the mistakes are done by artificial intelligence.
Takže jsem vlastně vybrala svoji nejoblíbenější ukázku z Galilejce.
So I choose my favorite passage from the Galilei.
A tu jsem si, i když už ji umím skoro nazpaměť,
even though I remember nearly from a memory,
tak si ji vždycky musím napřed přečíst sama doma, protože hrozně pláču.
Yeah, but before the public reading, I have to first read it at home because usually I'm still very deeply touched by the story.
A pláču.
Yeah, and then I'm crying.
Abych neplakala před lidma.
So first I cry at home, then I don't have to cry at public, in front of people.
A myslíš, že by si přečetla toho Galilejce, ten začátek?
Yeah, so I can read for some part of the Galilei. The wood lay bare on the carpenter table, breathing freely, its scent filling the entire room. Dina gazed in Eve. It reminded her of the lifeless body of her younger brother. He had buried Jacob barely 3 weeks early. The memory of his death was so vivid that it wouldn't let her sleep at night. As she stared pensively at the piece of worked wood, which she feared would become their new table, she hardly recognized herself. Hunched over by the sorrow. It will be a beautiful table, the man said, and his deep voice resonated with the depths of Dina's heart. A simple, entirely mundane sentence, yet it has delivered a sense of comforting. To Dina, it felt as though he was answering her grief. That was precisely why the man's sudden presence didn't startle her. Slowly she turned towards him, smiled, and blinked several times to hide her tears, welling up the depths of her wounded soul. Though the man stood with his back to the door, blocking the light from revealing his features, Dina knew full well whose voice had spoken. It was Joshua, the youngest son of carpenter Joseph. She recognized the light brown hair that fell on his shoulders, pictures the thick beard of the same color, the high forehead, slim, well-shaped lips, The straight nose, the firm chin, and grayish eyes she seemed slightly veiled beneath his eyebrows. He was slender and not very tall. Dina looked at him, but it was on that spring day that she admitted to herself that for first time, because they had never before in the childhood been alone together. Joshua, 5 years older, stepped towards her, took her hand, and kissed her on the cheek. He whispered the words of condolence in her ear, and for a moment did not loosen his grip on her hand. When he pulled back to caress the worked wood lying before him with his palm, it seems to Dina that the sun, which has so suddenly appeared and shining on her, has hidden its rays behind the impenetrable shroud of clouds. It was then when she was remembered why she had come. My mother sent me. She's afraid we won't be able to pay. Maybe next month. Father ordered a table under the completely different circumstances. Then just like her, Dina attended the last sentence herself. It was meant to sound like an apology. It was supposed to say how deeply ashamed she felt and how much she disgraced with her mother's action. Disagreed, I'm sorry. Yet Joshua's expression did not change. Her monologue left no impression on him. That's all right, you will pay when you can. It will be ready next week, as we agreed, he said quite matter-of-factly. Then I looked at the carpenter confused. In the next moment she tried in vain to hold back tears, which were a mixture of pain over the loss of her brother and gratitude for this unexpected act of understanding and generosity. She cried for a long time, curled up against Joshua's chest. She didn't even realize how it happened that she had found herself in his healing embrace, because that was exactly what it was. As she left the carpenter house, she knew she would never marry another man. So that's that's Marcela's favorite chapter.
No.
You haven't cried.
Jasně, jo, ale neplakala jsem, protože už jsme to dneska, to Kristýna četla.
Yeah, I haven't cried now because before Kristýna read it in the morning, so I cried before. Ty taky pláčeš?
Já pláču ty poslední.
Yeah, Kristýna is crying on the last chapter.
I'm so impressed by this work and experience that you have been going through.
Tak teď nevím, čím navázat teda.
I don't know how to continue. Do you have some question?
If you could go through each book, you've is it 4 books or 5 books?
Five.
Okay.
5.
I think if you could go through the sequence of the books, do they have a chronological order? Does book 2 depend on book 1, and does book 3 depend on book 2? Is it like a series, or are they independent?
Řekni to, ať se zase lidi nezlobějí, že nerozuměli otázce, víš.
Takže jestli to je tak, že vlastně jsou v chronologickém pořadí, jedna navazuje na druhou, nebo je to v jakém je to pořadí, takže můžeš ukázat ten obrázek, která je to první další. Jo.
Ale druhý vydání, to je druhý vydání.
Or just hold the book up.
Yeah.
Just hold the book up. Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
That's the first book.
Second one.
Immortal Duke is the second one.
Yeah. Takže hrdinou mého druhého románu.
So the main hero of the second book
je hrabě de Saint-Germain.
Is Duke Monte Cristo Saint-Germain.
Monte Cristo. Což by taky nebylo špatně.
Zaměřuje se na jeho cestu k tomu, jak se z něj stal nesmrtelný hrabě.
Yeah, the story is the focus on how he became the immortal, how he gained his immortality.
Je to vlastně návod, jak se stát nesmrtelným, kdyby to někdo dokázal následovat.
It's actually, let's say, the basic protocol how to become the immortal, that if you able to succeed it, you gain immortality.
Je to prvních 30 let života, ne?
Je to jeho prvních 30 let života.
It's the first 30 years of his age.
Vlastně on se stává učedníkem.
He start to be apprentice.
Jednoho z Ješuových učedníků.
One of the Joshua's apprentice.
jménem Lukáš,
Lucas,
který mu předává přesně to,
who is passing on the knowledge and information.
co se naučil od Ješuji.
What he was got the teaching from
Protože
Joshua.
každý vlastně jeho učedník,
Because every of his apprentice
Ješuův učedník,
of Joshua,
si vybral jinou schopnost
they have, let's say, picked the different ability,
a
different
právě
skills.
Lukáš toužil po nesmrtelnosti.
And Lucas was longing after the immortality.
A okolnosti vlastně v mém románu Hraběti de Saint-Germain, on sám se říká Laurent. Se jmenoval Laurent.
In the novel, his original name was Laurent.
Takže Laurent odchází s Lukášem do Švédska.
He's going away from France. From France, he's moving to Sweden with Lucas. He followed Lucas to Sweden.
V době 30.
V době 30leté války.
In the time of 30 years war.
Now, when was this? When was the dates? 30 years war with...
V jakém období to byla to 36 let? So we need to get back to the history.
Víme to, 1620 končí.
It's a break between the 16th to 17th century because it ends the 1621, so it's like 30 years. It was like
Takže to byl konec
1590 to 1620 or something like that. It was the 30 years war.
You see, our 30 years war may not be your 30 years war.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good point. Yes, we consider only our 30 years war. Yeah.
Takže Lukáš vlastně předává Loránovi všechno, co umí.
So Lucas, he's passing on all the knowledge and all the teaching to Laurent.
Učí ho dívat se na svět odlišným způsobem.
He teaches him how to perceive and look to the world in different, from different angle, from different perspectives.
Učí ho, že nemusí umírat, nemusí ho sužovat nemoci jako žádného člověka, kde by tomu uvěřil.
He's teaching him that he doesn't have to suffer, he doesn't have to be ill, he doesn't have to die. If he believes in this, give this possibility that it's possible.
Jde vlastně o... Může se nám zdát i složitý systém.
It can cease to be as complicated system.
Jde především o to přestat se nechat ovládat myslí.
Because the main idea is that not to be, let's say, governed by our mind or controlled by our mind.
Která nám neustále připomíná všechna omezení, která máme.
Because all the limitation which we have are coming from our mind.
Ale stejně jako celá společnost už od narození.
But it's not like we are brought up in this kind of society that we are limited by our mind.
This is very important. This is very important. So I don't fully understand. Maybe I'll let you speak longer. Sorry, but I see this is very important.
Je to tak.
Yeah, that's true. Do you have some question to it?
Můžu
Yeah, or
když už tady sedím, tak jednak nechtěla jsem říct, že dneska je to mnohem těžší, protože nežijeme v hlubokých švédských lesích.
You know, these days is actually much more difficult, and because we are not living in the deep or endless Swedish woods.
Ale jsme pronásledováni médii, internetem a vším tím, co známe.
Let's say because these days we are followed with the media everywhere, internet everywhere, and you know, from all the angles something is speaking to us.
A i tak to nebylo snadné. Jo, v dobách Lorána.
But even in the, let's say in the time of where is the novel written, it wasn't easy.
But I see the very fact that the internet is here, that is external mind control. They are stealing our reality.
Vlastně to, že tady internet je další vlastně způsob ovládání.
You understand?
Yes.
can talk, but you have good point, yeah, that's true.
No a ještě by bylo dobrý říct, že jednou z hlavních postav je švédská královna Kristýna.
Yeah, one of the other main characters is Swedish Queen Kristýna.
A on se vlastně dostává na její dvůr v určitý moment.
Yeah, Loran is coming to her court in certain era of her ruling.
A tam ho poprvé Lukáš představuje jako hraběte de Saint-Germain.
Yeah, and for first time Lucas is introducing him as the Duke of Saint-Germain.
A to už je v momentě, kdy Laurent si uvědomuje, že už se začíná měnit a že už to všechno pochopil.
In the moment, Laurent is aware of his transformation, that he understands the knowledge, to vlastně už je taky nesmrtelný, že?
Už víceméně.
Yeah, and he's also immortal.
Ale co je důležité,
Saint-Germain seems to be connected with Francis Bacon of Queen Elizabeth I, England.
Yeah, he has been connected in many countries with specific events. Yes, it was. You mean in England? It is in the Regent's era of Elizabeth I. Yes.
I'm meaning that Francis Bacon wrote Shakespeare. He was part of. He wrote the Shakespeare plays, but he was the son of Queen Elizabeth I. She had two sons, possibly four, but she would not allow him to take. If she, I don't go into the complicated reasons why she was the illegitimate son of Queen Elizabeth I. But he knew what he would next reincarnate. And I understand, I could be completely wrong, but I understand that Francis Bacon became known as Saint-Germain in different lives afterwards.
A že vlastně Saint-Germain potom jako Francis Bacon byl později znám jako Saint-Germain. Ona každá země.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. You know, every country has some story related to Saint-Germain very often, because, for example, in France it was even before. It was in the Marie Antoinette era. Also, Saint-Germain is still there.
So I did not know that. But then he tried to save the Masons from going dark. Is that correct?
Se zachránit zednáře, aby vlastně neskončili v temnotě. To tam nemáš.
Ne, tohle je jenom prvních 30 let života.
You know the symbol of the Masons? There is a G. The letter G is in the coats of arms of the Masons. This is the Masonic symbol of the company.
Yeah, because Kristýna was focusing on the beginning of the story, how he became, like the journey, how he became from, let's say, normal human into his knowledge, teaching skills. Yeah, it's.
Okay, continue. This is fascinating. But what era again? Remind me. What time are we dealing with? What era?
1590 to 1620. Yeah.
Ale vlastně si zapomněl, že se narodil ve Francii jako syn bohatého šlechtice.
Yeah, in Kristýna's novel, he was born as the son of the very rich feudal lord in France.
No,
a byl přeturčený světovníkem, nebo něco?
Ne, vojákem.
Yeah, and his destiny, according to his father, that he would be a soldier. Takže musel vlastně se vzdát ten...
nebudeme vyprávět.
Myslím si, že asi důležitý je tady říct.
So the important what I would like to say is,
že ten poslední krok v jeho transformaci.
The last important step in his transformation
nastane díky postavě Lucifera.
Is thanks to the, let's say, the character of Lucifer,
který mu dá vlastně ten poslední impuls k tomu, aby on vlastně, řekněme, vstal z mrtvých.
Which he gave him the last impulse to resurrect from the death.
Přesně tak. A tím se otvírá pole pro pokračování.
Which I'm opening the to the third book.
Ne, Lucifer Markety.
Which is
Moment.
It's Lucifer and Margaret.
no, yeah,
Now,
this is the third
explain this very clearly, because the people will say, "Oh, this is black magic" or whatever. Can you?
Ano,
postavit, no.
A musím se za něj postavit.
I have to stand up for behind this character.
Je pravda, že se hrál podstatnou roli,
That he played the important role
řekněme v pádu země do temnoty.
in the fall of Gaia into the darkness,
Protože temnota si ho vybrala,
because the darkness has chosen him,
aby jí vlastně pomohl realizovat její záměry z naší planety.
that he was destined to realize the, let's say, intention of darkness with our planet.
Ale on si postupně uvědomil, jakou udělal chybu.
But slowly, step by step, he has realized how huge mistake he has done.
A vlastně od té doby se to snaží napravit.
And since that, he started to repair his mistakes.
A je třeba říct, že pro tebe je velký rozdíl mezi jménem Lucifer a Satan.
Yeah, because for Kristýna, also what Marcela said, there is a big difference between the name of Lucifer and Satan.
Okay.
A taky bych měla se ještě odvolat na Madame Blavackou.
And also I would like to mention Mrs. Blavatská,
která už vlastně je jedna mezi prvními.
She was the late 900, like Persephone. She was very.
Blavatsky.
Blavatsky, Madame Blavatsky.
Yeah, she was one of the first.
Marcela, could you get closer, please? You are. No, that's fine. Good.
Kdy vlastně právě
my friend who is visiting has done a great study of this in Zener about Blavatsky and all of that. It is connected intricately with this place in Cornwall.
Yeah, and the Blavatská, she was really one of the main characters for many things.
She was also a very beautiful woman, but we're not, we're not. And are you aware of an American journalist called Daniel List? Daniel List.
No.
He's called Dark Journalist. He has black hair, black glasses, and he's called DJ, Dark Journalist. He does a lot of work on what we call dark journalism, which is suppressed information, and he does a lot of that in the United States. Daniel List, that's Lizst, I think. List.
To, co se neděje ten žurnalismus, ale je to spíš podločený žurnalismus. Kristýna will continue.
My taky.
Že vlastně ona začala, že právě v Londýně vydávat časopis Lucifer.
Yeah, because the Blavatská started to be publishing in London the magazine Lucifer, actually.
A tehdy musela vysvětlit, proč ho tak pojmenovala.
Yeah, and she has to explain why she named it after this character.
A vysvětlila to tak, že Lucifer je přece nositelem světla.
Yeah, and she said that Lucifer means the messenger of light, messenger of the knowledge. Takže zásadně rozumím. There is a main difference between Lucifer, the messenger of light, and someone we would call Satan.
A můžu? A tohle všechno vlastně o sobě Lucifer vypráví v téhle knize.
And that's all what the Lucifer is telling about himself in this third novel of the book.
A u Kristýny je
Excuse me,
zajímavé.
is the person in the picture yourself? Yeah.
Seš to ty na obrázku?
Ne.
No!
A vlastně Kristýna, jediná postava, která je ve všech ve 4 v té tetralogii, je ve všech Lucifer.
Yeah, actually the only character which is present in all of the books is actually Lucifer.
A on se vyvíjí, ta postava se vyvíjí, i pro nás se vyvíjí.
Yeah, also the character is developing and evolving from each book.
V Galilejci to byl ten voják, který ukončil Ješuovo utrpení na kříži.
Yeah, and Galilei is the soldier who ended the suffering of Joshua on a cross.
Vzal jeho podobu na sebe teda.
Yeah, he has taken the, let's say, the appearance of the soldier.
V hrabě ti napřed pošle Lorána nebo Saint-Germaina za jeho umírající matkou. Vlastně ho donutí, aby se vrátil na čas domů.
Yeah, in a second novel, in Saint-Germain, Lucifer is sending or forcing Laurent to visit his dying mother, that for a while he go back to France.
Ještě jako záporná postava vlastně tady v ten moment.
In that moment it seems to be as a negative character.
Ale na konci toho nesmrtelného hraběte ho zachrání.
But in the end he's saving the immortal Saint-Germain.
Pomůže mu k tomu poslednímu kroku, jak říkala Kristýna.
In the last step of his transformation, how Kristýna said.
A po 100 letech
se osobně se vlastně znovu s Loránem osobně setkává, tentokrát už se mu zjevuje.
And 100 years later, he's meeting again with Laurent or Saint-Germain, and they are meeting physically in person.
Teď jsme v 18. století.
So we are in this third book is an 18th century.
A děj se ne náhodou odehrává.
And the story is going on
ve Frankfurtu nad Mohanem.
In Frankfurt am Main.
Ve stejném roce, kdy se, nebo rok předtím, než se narodil.
What is the second city? Frankfurt and where?
Frankfurt am Main in Germany. Okay. Frankfurt am Main, there is the river, and it's a story.
Je to, začíná se odehrát rok předtím, než se narodil Goethe.
And it's the story is happening a year earlier than Johann Wolfgang Goethe is born, who is actually the author of the Faustie.
Yes. Takže název knihy Lucifer and Margaret není náhodný.
So it's not a random title, it has a meaning also. Because of the connection of the Goethe.
Yes.
A pak máme další.
Ještě asi něco. Vlastně tahle ta kniha, bych řekla, je taková nejvíc vtipná.
This book, I would say this is the most funny, or there is a lot of humor in it.
Už jenom tím, že vlastně nebojuje se tam o život, jako ve válce nebo za Římany.
Because it's not like the fighting for life, how was it in the Roman era or in some war.
Pohybují se po hostincích.
They are attending some inns and restaurants or pubs.
Holdují alkohol.
Yeah, they are drinking alcohol also.
Shocking.
A jsou tam i milostné příběhy.
Yeah, and also love story is part of it also.
A samozřejmě, že důležitým momentem je propojení s Goethovým příběhem.
The important connection is also connection with the Goethe story.
Vystupují z jeho rodiče.
Or also his parents.
Takže se můžeme domnívat.
Let's assume.
Čí syn Goethe mohl být?
Whose son the Goethe could be? Myslíš jako Saint-Germain?
Ne.
Lucifer. So could be the son of Lucifer.
The son of whom? Yes. Oh my God.
Ne, to nebudeme říkat.
Marcela said we shouldn't spoil the surprise for the reader.
Ale skutečností je,
the actual fact is that,
že Johann Wolfgang Goethe,
Wolfgang Goethe,
byl naprosto geniální.
He was real genius.
Jeho vědomosti zasahovaly do mnoha oborů.
He had very large and wide knowledge of many areas.
Přírodověda například.
Like nature or biology, optics as well.
Barvy.
Colors.
A on byl velmi úspěšný, což se každému za svého života.
In his era, he was actually very successful, which very often it's happened post-mortal, yeah.
Mnoho osobností se s ním toužilo setkat, včetně Napoleon.
Many celebrity or influential people want to meet together, including Napoleon, for example.
Což si myslím,
he was very influential.
Yeah. Ano, přesně tak.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
A nebyl chudý.
And he was quite rich, also he wasn't like poor.
Což je vlastně na tu dobu opravdu neuvěřitelné.
Which in his era was something very incredible, yeah.
Přesně tak, takže proč ne?
So why not? Yeah.
Did this reach the political arena in politics or government?
Týká se to nějaké
Socially?
To ne.
No, it's not. It was not an important part of the story.
Ještě bych si k tomu chtěla něco říct.
Lucifer vysvětluje a jeho pomocník Mephisto.
Lucifer and his assistant Mephisto are
sluha v tomhle.
Or he is a servant in this novel.
Vlastně vysvětlují, jak funguje země.
They are explaining how the earth is working.
Mluví o pekle a o tom, že je to úplně jinak. Vlastně.
They are talking about the hell, that the hell is something completely different, how we perceive it or we are set.
A Lucifer se tam i ukazuje jako nedokonalá trpící bytost s velkým pocitem viny.
Yeah, and Lucifer is described in the story also very strong character with huge feeling of guilt, his own mistakes and doubts.
A zapomněla si na hlavní, na jeho partnerku, na tu původní.
You forgot his partner, original one.
Kterou je temnota Lilith.
Which is the darkness, Lilith, yeah.
Která se tu vlastně objevuje poprvé.
Which is appearing for first time in this novel, Lilith.
A zásadním způsobem zasahuje do děje.
And she is one of the crucial role in the novel also, how she's influencing it.
A vlastně díky tomu, že se Lucifer stává dalším Loránovým učitelem.
And then Lucifer is starting to be the next teacher of Loran alias Saint-Germain.
Tak my se dozvídáme,
so we are getting to know that
jak svět, jak už bylo řečeno, jak funguje lidská mysl.
How the human mind is working.
Jak funguje svět.
How the world is functioning.
Nevím, jestli ještě
život, smrt.
Yeah, also life and death, how they are part of it.
Peklo je podle něj pustina.
Let's say the hell is a kind of desert.
Ze které se ti, co se tam dostanou, tak moc touží znovu inkarnovat.
Who got there, they deeply wish to be incarnated again.
Že jim úplně jedno, na jaký osud se přijmou.
They don't care which kind of destiny.
A co v něm budou páchat.
Or what they will be doing.
Are you saying that there was a connection through birth, life, death into the next life?
Že tam propojení vlastně skrze život.
Přesně tak.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
This is very important, so they know what they can do after their death and they know where they're going into the next life.
Takže vědí vlastně jak se narodí, nebo co budou v příštím životě.
Ti, co jsou v pekle.
Those who are in hell, you mean? Jo? Yes.
Vlastně.
Yes, yeah, it can be said like that. Yeah.
Oni přijmou cokoliv vlastně.
They accept any kind of faith.
Podepíšou všechno.
Or to sign up any kind of contract to get out of the hell. So it doesn't matter where they will incarnate, but they want to get out of the hell. Because everything else is better than to stay in the hell.
So they do not forget, they know and remember through
pamatují?
To ne.
Úplně ne.
That I can't say, protože to vlastně
Ale v ten
nevěděli.
moment to dělají vědomě.
In the moment they do it consciously,
Ale
that
to
they want to
zapomeneme.
choose a different destiny, but let's say in the afterbirth they forgot it.
Jako všichni.
Like everyone, because there is the, let's say, the factor that we are forgetting why we are incarnating today, or most of us.
Ale neuzavírají smlouvu s ďáblem, ale s temnotou.
You know, but because they are not signing up the contract with the devil, but with the darkness.
Nebo systémem.
Or
můžeme
system,
říct.
we can call it system, if you want to call it system.
Do you have more information about the darkness?
Yes.
It's a more.
Yeah.
Aha!
No, mluví sama za sebe.
That's the first book which is called Darkness.
A problém je,
Let's say the trouble is,
že tahle kniha předchází úplně všechny ostatní.
this is, let's say, the first, let's say,
What
book which
what is the symbology of the image? The horns and the earth.
to je,
What is that? Is that
it's a
explain?
podcast.
Ne, to víte.
Vlastně to byl obrázek z databanky, z fotobanky.
It's a picture from the photobank. It doesn't have the, let's say, the
A
story.
vybral to grafik.
It was picked by the graphic.
V nakladatelství.
In a publishing house, it was not my intention.
Yes.
So there is great meaning in the image, or it is just a pretty picture.
Má to být tam nebo ne?
Má to svým způsobem, on to myslel tak, že to má ten význam, že tam v tom příběhu jde o egyptský
Yeah,
bohy.
the graphic saw the meaning in there that because it's also a story about the Egyptian gods, but it doesn't have the horns, doesn't have the connection with the story. Není to jako příběh.
Není to úplně konkrétní.
Yeah, it was more like inspired by the Egyptian gods than a special character in the novel.
Ale mohla by to být Lilith.
But it could be the Lilith, that's true.
A vlastně ten příběh se odehrává, řekněme, na úplném počátku všeho.
This story it's taking place at the beginning of all and beginning of origin of all.
Vlastně po pádu, řekněme, naší planety.
After the fall of our planet into the darkness.
Kdy je tam ten moment, kdy hlavní postava Usir
where the main character, which is Usir,
se probouzí
he is waking up
v chrámu
in a temple
a zjišťuje, že má lidské tělo.
and he's realizing that he has a human body.
Najednou z ničeho nic. To neznám.
Out of blue he has a physical body, something he doesn't know.
Předtím byl dokonalý.
Before he was perfect.
Rovný Bohu, který ho stvořil.
He was equal to the God who has created him.
Kdo stvořil všechny bytosti v univerzu.
The God who has, or creator who has created all the people, everything in the universe.
Ale během toho tvoření dobra,
but let's say in the creating of goodness,
vznikl jako odpadní materiál právě temnota.
Let's say as a waste material, the darkness has been created as well.
Ale nikdo si ji nevšímal.
But nobody was paying attention to it.
Protože když neznáme, nevíme, co je zlo, tak ho nepoznáme.
Because if we don't know the mean or evil, we don't recognize it if we don't know what does it mean.
Tudíž ho nemohla poznat ani.
So also the God was not aware what he has created.
Přesně tak. A právě v tenhle moment ona řekněme, čas neexistoval.
Let's say in those times, this time it doesn't exist, or in that era.
Takže, no jak to správně říct, kdy ona vlastně sílila a hledala toho spojence.
Potřebovala, vyhlídla si planetu Zemi, ale potřebovala někoho, kdo může tvořit. Ona neměla ani jméno, ona byla odpadní materiál.
Character of the Lilith as the darkness, she didn't have a name. She was kind of like waste product of creation of the world or matter.
A neměla pořádnou formu.
She didn't have a form.
Byla jenom zdrojem energie.
She was just the source of some kind
Opakem
of
boží
energy.
moci.
Let's say opposite character
Ale
of
přesto
God's
schopná
will.
tvořit, bohužel.
But she was also able to create, unfortunately.
A potřebovala někoho.
Yes, she has needed someone, some character, skrze koho by
Kdo by měl
Tu božskou sílu.
tu
who would have the God strength
představivost.
and also imagination
A právě Lucifer.
and also Lucifer.
Toužil tvořit sám.
Ano.
Nechtěl už být jenom pomocníkem.
He doesn't want to be, let's say, someone assistant or apprentice. He had desire to create, to be the creator.
A to byla ta jeho slabost, na kterou ho nachytala.
Which actually was his weakness, on which the Lilith actually catch him.
A společně se stoupili na naší planetu.
And together they descended to our planet
A začali tvořit.
and they have started to create.
Začali tvořit sice své právné, v uvozovkách své právné bytosti,
And they have started to create, let's say, the conscious being
kteří se sice jakoby mohou rozhodovat sami.
who it seems to have a free will.
Mohou zestárnout,
They can age.
ale mohou, jak to tam mám napsaný, ale...
To nevím teď, co přesně chci
to
říct.
on chtěl, že můžou se rozhodovat.
Ale mají svobodu.
His intention was they
Mají
have a
svobodu.
free will, they can decide it.
Jejich svět je jakoby barvitější, než byl ten dokonalý.
Let's say their world is more colorful or more vivid or more rich than the perfect world, which was originally.
Tady byl bez bolesti, bez toho, aby kdokoliv cokoliv musel.
Which was without suffering, without pain, without obligation that you would have to do something or must.
No a oni tím, že stvořili ten pravý opak.
So as they have created the opposite of it also,
Ale úplně ve všem.
in
Plný
everything,
bolesti.
Full of pain.
Takže proto na první pohled si třeba spousta lidí do dneška myslí, že tohle je lepší.
So that many people think that this kind of world is better.
Něco se děje.
Co se děje?
Because something is happening.
Musí se učit.
They have to learn, they have to
Vyvíjet
study,
se.
they have to evolve.
A přitom je to pořád stejný.
And you know, it's still like copycat story.
This is highly
kamenovat.
detailed and amazing.
Yeah, but you know, like for this kind of narrative, we could be easily punished, as Marcella said, because it's kind of controversial for many people.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is very courageous for this to be done.
Ale stejně to máme odvážné to udělat.
Oh.
Yes, she's very brave girl.
Do you feel inspired? Are there more books to be completed?
Bude tam více knih ještě máš tu jednu.
Ještě mám jednu poslední.
There is one more which is published.
Ale kterou jsem si napsala, řekněme, nezávisle na těch předešlých.
Yeah, this is independent on the other ones.
Syn draka.
Is Son of Dragon.
A jedná se zase vlastně o moje pojetí příběhu.
It's my version of story of
knížete
Dracula.
Knížete Vlada Drakuly.
Vlad Dracula.
Odehrává se to v jeho době.
It's happening in the era of Dracula.
Is this what you call the vampires?
Yes, yeah.
Ale zase jsem to pojala velmi po svém.
Yeah, it's you know, it's very my version of it. So it's 15th century.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason why that century is so important?
Proč je důležitý to století před toho? Because Dracula was living, or he's originated to that era. Let's say the actual Dracula in Transylvania.
Vlastně, co mě k tomu pohnalo, byla skutečnost, že on vyrůstal s Mehmedem II.
So what actually was my intention, because he was growing up with the Mehmed II.
tím Mehmedem, který dobil Konstantinopol.
The Mehmed who has conquered the
A tím
Constantinople,
vlastně změnil běh dějin.
and by it he has changed the tide of the history. Yeah.
Takže pro mě, i když v našich končinách kontroverzní, tak je to velmi důležitá postava.
Yeah, in our countries, myslíš jako
Mehmeda.
Mehmed II is a controversial historical character, but he was very important one also.
Are you talking Khazarian? Khazars? Khazar? No. Venetian?
Ne.
Venetian.
It's Osman.
From Venice.
It's Osman Empire.
It's Osman Empire.
It's Osman Empire. Actually.
Ottoman Empire.
Yeah, Ottoman Empire. Mehmed II, historical character in the 15th century.
This extends into the east. Turkey.
Yes, to Constantinople. Yeah, to Constantinople. Yeah.
A dark time.
Ano.
A kdy byl světlej teda.
Yeah, but you know, in which era the world was light, you know. Maybe we are heading there. Maybe
Nenabodáváme se na půli, to je
but you know, we are not pierced on spike anymore. Not anymore, you know, or burn on stakes. Yes, we are censors.
A ještě abych tady navázala, tak vlastně ten příběh se odehrává v momentě, kdy se Mehmed dozví.
This story is taking place.
Is this near what some people call the Renaissance, or did that happen earlier? Forgive me for this. It's
Renaissance was 100 years before, and now this is actually in the time of, we would call medieval time. In at least Central Europe, it was quite dark age.
Because the 1450
was the conquering of Constantinople by Ottomans. 1450. So in the Renaissance is like 300 something. This is an plateau.
yeah, completely. Yeah, okay.
No, Renaissance byla každého čtvrtýho.
I'm wrong by 1,000 years.
So this is we are in the medieval times. Yeah. In at least in Central Europe. Yeah.
Ještě možná by bylo dobrý říct, jak
This is very important to what is happening now.
Jak se tam dostat?
Ale vlastně je to důležitý pro to, co se děje teď. And also Marcela has pointed out, it's maybe important to mention how the Dracula got there.
Jako malé dítě vlastně, jak se dostal k Osmanům.
Yeah, how he was appearing in the Ottomans monarchy or Ottomans land.
Na dvůr vlastně, na dvůr.
In the court of the Mehmed II.
Ne, first, jeho otec. Murat.
On the father of Murat.
Where did the dragons come in on this?
Yes, his father, jeho otec byl součástí řádu draka.
His father, he was part of the Order of Dragon.
Takže
now, did these dragons physically exist?
Existovaly ty draci fyzicky?
Já mám upíry, ne draky.
Yeah, Kristýna has vampires, not dragons. The dragon in this meaning is the name of dragon, but not dragon as a character.
Byl myšlený vlastně, stělesňoval křesťanskýho rytíře.
In that time the dragon was a representation of a Christian knight,
který bojuje právě s nevěřícími muslimy.
Who is fighting the believer of non-Christianity aka Muslims.
Proto vznikl řád draka.
So that's the originated of Order of the Dragon. To fight the Ottomans.
Jehož členem byl i Vladův otec, Vlad II. Drak, vlastně Dráků.
Vlad II, the Dragon, the Dracula was part of the knights.
A on jako jeho syn byl vlastně synem draka, když jeho otec byl drak, tak on
if his father would kind of call dragon, then he was also the dragon Dracula.
Syn, on byl syn, proto syn draka.
are we associating this with the modern Draco, Alpha Draco
Máme
big
to spojení s těma
aliens?
No, not because, you know, in English the word is dragon, but in Czech it's more like Dracula. But it's not synonym, it's not connection, it's just the translation. So
Okay.
it's not, nemá to spojení se současným drakonem.
So are you saying that Dracula's had a bit of a bad rap, as we say in English?
Takže
He was really quite a nice person.
Špatnou reputaci spíš, než jaká byla realita.
Tak on byl samozřejmě krutej.
Yeah, he was cruel,
Jenomže v té době nebyl.
But in his era he wasn't cruel, you know.
On se naučil nabodával lidi na kůli u Osmanů.
Yeah, because he learned how to kill the people in Ottoman's empire, you know. That he was accustomed this tradition by his upbringing.
Protože oni ho vychovávali.
I just closed the window because there is some public.
Oni ho vychovali, vlastně Osmani ho vychovali.
Yeah, he was brought up by Ottoman. A to je historický fakt.
Ano.
Yeah, this is the historical fact. The Dracula, the dragon, he was brought up in Ottoman Empire.
Otec ho musel dát na výchovu.
Yeah, his father was forced to do it actually.
Spolu s jeho bratrem.
Yeah, with his brother also.
Oni se museli vzdávat svých dětí.
Tož dělali i Římané.
They have to actually, his father have to give up his sons, both of them, to the court of Ottoman Empire, and you know, they have to follow the tradition, their kind of education system and so on, and follow the
aby měli záruku, že ten knížek, který přišel o děti, se vlastně nepostaví proti nim.
Because it was kind of like the pact of the loyalty, how to have the knights loyal to the emperor or Ottoman's emperor, that if they gave up their kids, they didn't have other choice than to obey, you know.
Yes.
That was how to secure it.
A při té příležitosti se naučí jejich kultuře a třeba se proti ním pak taky nebudou stavět.
Yeah, in that opportunity he learned the culture, the customs, and then he was loyal, and that was expectation. They don't rebel against them.
To znamená, že když se Vlad vrátil na valašský trůn,
so when the Vlad has returned to the Hungarian court, Wallachia court,
tak se předpokládalo, že bude dělat to, co po něm sultan chce.
Yeah, that he would behave in a way what the sultan expect him, that he will do his bidding and his customs.
Protože v té době vlastně odehrává se to na území dnešního Rumunska.
It's taking place in current, let's say, Romania, or what we would call these days Romania.
A kdy vlastně ta země byla rozdělená na 3 knížectví.
The country was split into 3 counties.
Nejznámější je Transylvánie.
Yeah, the Transylvania is the most famous one.
Na jihu bylo právě Valašsko.
In the south there was the Wallachia county.
Kde Vlad vládnul.
Where Vlad was actually ruling.
Tak. Takže on musel být krutej, musel být pevný.
Yeah, he has to be firm, stable, quite cruel, quite strict.
Aby vlastně udržel si moc.
That he would stay in the power.
A aby ochránil i svoje lidi.
But that he would also protect his people,
svůj národ.
Yeah, for his nation.
Tak ale nejen před Osmany.
Not only against the Ottomans.
I před Maďary.
But also the Hungarians.
Před Poláky.
Also Polish, because it was like quite dynamic era.
Římským císařem.
Also Roman Empire, that was a lot of, game for powers and so on.
I think that is quite typical of the time.
Ano,
vlastně. Yes.
Today we do it differently. We do it on television.
Well, if you are not that country which is fighting there, the rest of the world has it on television. But if you are in the land which is taking place, you see it in the reality.
Jenom, že ten příběh začíná v momentě,
And the story is it's getting started in a
kdy se
moment
Mehmed dozví, že Vlad, který měl vlastně zahynout v bitvě,
that when Mehmed II get to know that Vlad he should die in some battle,
byl pohřben,
he was buried,
tak má údajně
that supposedly
má údajně navštěvovat po nocích
at night that he's attending or visiting
muže, vlastně šlechtice,
men, the feudal men,
kteří jeho vlastně
zradili.
Kteří ho zradili.
Mehmed II.
Kteří zradili
Drákulu.
Who has betrayed the Dracula, the blood?
A navštěvuje jako upír se, jim krev.
Yeah, and he's visiting them as a vampire and he's sucking their blood. So it's kind of a revenge. Taková odplatička.
Přesně tak. A Mehmed chce zjistit.
And Mehmed want to know
jestli je to pravda.
If it's true.
Protože kdyby to byla pravda,
if this is the truth,
mohl by třeba jeho moc získat pro sebe.
He would gain his power for himself.
Přesně tak. Takže vysílá do Transylvánie.
So he's sending the messengers to Transylvania.
Kde předpokládá, že se Vlad zdržuje.
Where he expect that Vlad is living.
Takže vysílá výpravu speciální.
He's sending the special mission there.
Která má ověřit to, jestli je to pravda nebo ne.
They should confirm or deny if it's true that Vlad is actually the vampire.
No a tehdy se do toho samozřejmě vkládá politika.
Then there is a politics start to get involved.
Takže i maďarský král by rád věděl, jestli je to pravda nebo ne.
Because then the Hungarian king would like to know it as well, if it's true or not.
On nechce jeho moc,
he doesn't want to have the
ale
same
chce
power,
ho zabít, aby jeho hlavu mohl přinést do Říma.
But he wants to kill him that he can bring his head to the Rome.
A mohl se jen tak mohl se stát římským císařem.
And he become the emperor, the Roman Empire.
Přesně tak.
Je to v té době vlastně rakouského. It's before the Austro-Hungarian monarchy. In that time, it was Hungarian kingdom without the Austria. Je to rodová linie, která je tam jako důležitá.
No, nevím.
Something to do with Hungarian. There's a key. Well, I don't have enough information. Sorry. There's a very unique bloodline.
Yeah, no. There is no specific connection to it.
Okay.
Protože byl vlastně jako sousední země. Yeah, I choose the Hungary in the time because it was like the neighboring country to Romania, or these days Romania. We are talking about the Hungary, but it was the Hungarian kingdom and it was before Austro-Hungarian monarchy.
But we are also talking about what there were many wars in that area. What they call the Balkans.
Yes, yeah.
Is that east, further east?
Yeah, no, it's part of the Balkan as well. Yeah, it's part of the Balkan. Yes, yeah, you are correct. We are in the geography.
And of course, then we have the Turkey, and we have
yeah, because the borders were changing.
Yes, all over the place.
Yeah, it was overlapping, shifting and changing. Marcela would like to say something.
Já souhlasím. Opět je to milostný příběh.
Again, it's also part of the love story there.
Protože iniciátorem té výpravy
because initiator of that mission to confirm of the night of Dracula was Emara,
dcera byzantského šlechtice,
was daughter of Byzantine lord,
kterou rodiče věnovali Mehmedovi jako miminko.
Which was donated to the Mehmed as an infant.
A stala se součástí jeho harému.
Yeah, she was part of his harem.
A vlastně je to žena, která stojí mezi Mehmedem a Drakulou.
It's a woman who is standing between the Mehmet and Dracula.
A jako ve všech Kristýniných knihách,
And in every Kristýna's books,
tak je vždycky ten příběh vyprávěn na základě milostného příběhu.
yeah, the story is based on some love story as well. Yeah.
Takže je to hodně čtivé.
It's easy to read and it's fun to read.
A dá se to číst jenom jako dobrodružný příběh.
Yeah, you know, there are many levels how you can read Kristýna's book.
Yes.
You can as an adventure story, nebo
Milostný příběh.
love story, or you are seeking some other knowledge or other connections. So it depends on the reader which kind of levels they want to tap in. Yeah.
So are we this book, this is the last one, is that correct?
To už je všechno.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the last book. Yes, yeah.
Not
yeah,
the
yeah.
final one, just the one that is the most recently written. So
Tohle je ta poslední napsaná.
Dana, ano.
Yes,
Vydána,
this is
vydána.
the last published, and Kristýna is writing one more. Yeah, Kristýna is writing the book which hasn't been published yet. It would be the 6th book. Jak se to jmenuje?
now we have a very good bookshop here in this part of Wiltshire. It's called Devises Books, and it's run by a lady, very wonderful lady. Are these available in other languages? Have you any plans?
Not yet.
My hledáme, čekáme na zázrak,
We are waiting for a miracle.
až Kristýnu objeví někdo v zahraničí.
When somebody will discover Kristýna abroad, you know. Musíš to nechat přeložit, no.
But this is a work of genius. I'm not exaggerating here.
Já to nepřeháním, je to dílo genia. Fakt děkuji.
Já si to taky myslím.
Marcela agreed. You know, the times are changing. Who knows? Yeah, maybe you will be the first one making interview with Kristýna.
Who knows? It is.
You will be bloody famous.
In this part of the world, in the West, we do not know enough about our own continent of Europe. We only know a little bit about what happened in the last 50 years, or you know, but we don't understand why all this is happening.
You don't consider yourself much as part of Europe, yes, or never consider.
Scotia, there is a great connection with that island to the west, and then Atlantis and all this.
Yeah. You know, that's we are in the same page, because the Czech has also very strong connection to Egypt, to Atlantis as well. There are a lot of people who believe their incarnation from Atlantis. That's we are on the same page. Yeah.
Where do people get your book? How do they buy the books?
Jak se lidi koupají knížky? V Čechách jako
No, v Čechách.
in the Czech and the internet or bookshops.
Where do people get your books?
Kde se koupí?
No, tak to napíšeme, když tak, no.
We will write you down and you can edit there. Yeah, she will send you.
Yeah.
Nechtěl jsem říct, že jestli nechceš ještě přečíst nějakou ukázku, nebo jestli už je to moc dlouhý, asi jo. To je moc dlouhý už asi, no.
That would be all.
Ale můžu to tam taky přečíst.
A můžeme ti to poslat.
Yeah, we can. Things are changing. Yeah, so they will do it. Yeah.
Okay. And perhaps you could present that, yourself in English, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. These are my books, and this is what is in them.
Je to o mně, tohle to, ty tam můžeš k tomu.
You speak in the English?
Yes, she's speaking very well.
No.
Ale má skvělou výslovnost.
V mnoha jazycích mám skvělou výslovnost, ovšem neumím pořádně žádný.
Kristýna says, in many languages I have perfect pronunciation, but I am unable to speak.
Well, it is like the Japanese. They can hear English, but they can read English, but they can't speak it.
Yeah, they are quite
I have a Belfast accent. When I speak French, the French die. You can see them die. Oh, mort or whatever, I can wave my hands like the French and the Italians. So I speak it perfectly with my hands.
Yeah, but then if you hear French speaking English, you can laugh a lot as well. I know it about myself as well. Yeah, so
I had a French girlfriend, and she's from Paris, and she excuse me. If she's going to say hello, I love you, it's I'm making a slight joke. I'm making a slight joke.
Yeah. How is her English?
Her English is fine. I think this will work out.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
So all you need to do is get a few words. This book is, and this is what it's about.
Yeah.
And
they must do it. Yeah,
of course.
Jak bylo to stínat, aby jsme tam dali nějaký třeba během pár dní?
Počkej, co dneska?
Many of my friends are Dutch.
Yeah, Kristýna will do it by Friday because she has some other engagements. But she will by Friday if it's okay. Then
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, remember this is a recording. It doesn't matter right now. If you do.
Když to bude během pár dní, tak jako Yeah, she will try to do it by Friday.
When you are saying, when you are pronouncing, when you're saying it, just hold the book. Hello, blah blah blah.
A když budeš držet, tak tam prostě ukáž tu knížku fyzicky, do který to je.
Že on myslí, že by to mělo být mluvený?
So you mean it should be speaking?
Speaking, yeah, English, yeah, herself.
Yeah. Ty sama.
Takže nepsat, ale
natočit, yes.
Aha.
You may not understand, just speak the words. We will,
Musíš to rozumět, ale stejně to. Yes, but she will do it. She can manage. Yes.
That we make a joke that the English know how to speak all languages. We just speak louder to you.
Yes, that's my mother and grandmother do the same, or my father. V každém jazyce všichni to máme, takže mluvíme hlasitěji. No, yeah.
Hello!
When you are visiting Prague, you will experience that as well.
Maybe I get to Prague for this UFO thing later this year. Is that it? Were you talking about that? No?
Já jsem poslala před 14 dníma tvoje videa.
I have sent 2 weeks ago the videos to the organizer, to that guy.
Ale myslím, že se na to nepodíval.
But I think that he didn't have time yet. No,
we'll leave this for another time. We've been running. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's quite complicated. I think that when you have, after the conferences, United States or some of the summit, we can try it again because now he's quite busy. And
I'm speaking three conferences in the United States in July. But anyway, listen, just forget about this for now.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. It's really good to see you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
And it's a blessing. And we made it. WhatsApp, Facebook.
Yes, you are really good. Jsme to zvládli na WhatsAppu, na Facebooku.
Jo, vidíš, to je premiéra WhatsAppu.
Yeah, that's WhatsApp premiere, that's true. Well done, you are genius, Miles.
I even had to I had to switch Windows updates on. You never update your Windows.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck.
They want to make Windows 11,
Yeah, oh my goodness, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Really?
So, goodbye for now.
Goodbye, thank you.
It's very, very wonderful to see you all. It's a wonderful morning for me, so 3 beautiful ladies, so lovely.
Ale nevypadalo to tak na začátku.
At the beginning it doesn't look like that, but it turned out quite well.
It's wonderful. So, bye. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, bye.
Yeah.